What's up everyone? I'm back after another big delay with another piece of superior Eastern technology. This not so little powerhouse right here is Xiaomi's latest 17 Pro Max. Now, I'm not even going to comment on a camera plateau right here, let alone the name. However, there's no denying the fact that this is indeed a beautiful piece of technology, looks really good, feels very solid and premium when you're holding it. And then in terms of specs, obviously it's running on Snapdragon's latest 8 Elite Gen 5. I'm not going to comment on Snapdragon's naming strategies either, but yeah, that's what it's running on. And the unit that I've got right here is a 16512 running on Xiaomi's latest HyperOS 3 with some minor updates to it. Now, this thing relies on a little power plant for a battery. There's a crazy 7500 milliamp silicon carbon battery in there. I unplugged my phone at about 5 in the morning. It's been almost 6 hours, 5.5 to be more accurate. I still have 96% and this much juice left in there. And I've been using it too. It hasn't been sitting there idle. I've been using it to watch some YouTube, make some phone calls and things like that. So I would say so far so good. I'd probably still have to give it a few more cycles to see what it actually turns out to be like, but yeah, so far so good. Now, as you've probably heard a lot about it already, there's a rear display on this phone, and it's right here around the cameras that you can customize to your liking. So before I go ahead and do that, first of all, you can double tap to wake it. It has an always on display, and this is what it looks like with my current design. And then yeah, you can double tap on it to make it move. That's beautiful. And do bear in mind that it runs on a 120 hertz panel as well for some crazy reason, same as the main display. And then you can swipe right to access the camera, and then you can swipe down to access your notifications or pinned messages. That's actually something that's pretty cool to me. Like there's a small piece of information that you're going to need later on in the day. You can just copy it. It's some sort of a clipboard. You can copy that text or image or whatever piece of information that it is. You can copy it and make it show on the rear display. Notes. It doesn't have to be in notes. As you can see, I haven't even opened the Xiaomi's notes as of now. Yeah, so let's suppose there's a really important piece of information that I'm going to need later on in the day. All I need to do is wake my assistant, choose whatever it is that I need. Unfortunately, it says it in Chinese only for now, but it's this one right here. I'm not sure what it says, but that's what you need to tap. And once you do, it says pinned, and then this happens. Now, because of the way I did it, that was obviously a screenshot. So this is a picture. That's why there's a white background to it. If you copy a text, it's gonna look very slick, a very beautiful gradient design with orange and black and things like that. But yeah, this is what you get. It goes up here. You can swipe down on it to access it throughout the day later on. Now, in terms of customization, you do get to personalize it a lot. There's different watch faces. I'm not even sure what to call it, rear display faces or whatever. But yeah, you get a lot of choices. These are your pets, and these are your wallpapers or things that you can write on. And then there's this AI wallpaper section, which is actually pretty cool. So this one right here, you can use to generate an AI animation like this from an actual picture. So that's something cool about it if you're into that sort of thing. And then there's your nature section. This one's pretty cool. You definitely have seen it from other reviews. But yeah, this is the one that I have set on it right now. And then there's more that you can get from the store. There's even ones that are going to make it look like an iPhone, which is stupid. I don't know who came up with it, but they're out there. You can try them out if you want. In terms of notifications, though, you're quite limited as of now. So as you can see, there's only certain apps that support it, which is to be expected. The phone came out only a few days ago. All of these apps are Chinese, but yeah, you do get to control your music, whatever app it is that you're using. It doesn't have to be Xiaomi's music app. And then, yeah, most of them are basically Chinese apps and services at this stage. We hope to see more support for it very soon. Now, moving on to the OS, as you're probably aware, this is the Chinese version because, again, the phone came out only a few days ago. There is no global version as of now. But even for a Chinese ROM, I'd have to say this is pretty usable for global users. So I've been able to first of all, you do get this sidebar as well. They can use to open up apps in floating mode, and you can then customize, of course, like any other Android phone, but you do have that, and you're not limited to Chinese apps. You can customize them to your liking. And then secondly, what I was about to point out is I've been able to even dedicate my volume down button to circle to search. All I have to do is double tap it on any screen and it just works. All of the features are working, including the actual circling part. You can share or select the text, or you can even, hold on, let me do it again. You can even translate. There's no scroll to translate though. I hope to see that soon too. But yeah, apart from that, everything else is working on it. Obviously, you still do not get things like Quick Share and Hey Google and things like that. For Android Auto, I'm not really sure if it supports it, but I haven't been able to get it. Perhaps I'm doing something wrong, but all I have right now is Car With, Xiaomi's own car system. And there's no Android Auto. I couldn't find an option to switch over to Android Auto, even though I have it installed right here. But if you guys do know something about this, please let me know. In terms of push notifications, it's actually pretty straightforward. There's no trick to it. All you have to do to receive timely push notifications is, first of all, turn this feature on, auto start, put battery on, no restrictions. And then from here, you can obviously give it all the other permissions that you might require. But yeah, display pop-up windows, this is an important one. But yeah, the two main features that you have to have on to be able to get notifications are first, auto start, and second, no restrictions on the battery usage details part. That's all you got to do to get timely notifications. As for the speakers, this is, I believe, the first time ever I'm impressed with how much quality and how much depth there is to them on a Xiaomi phone, to be honest. And if I had to rate it, I would say it performs better, considerably better than the S25 Ultra, a little better than the iPhone 16 Pro, but just a little bit worse than the Honor Magic 7 Pro, as it, I believe, is the king of mobile phone speakers at the moment. But yeah, they're still very decent, very solid sound quality to them. And the way these animations have been designed on the Hyper Island thing is just marvelous. Honestly, it's one of the best on any Android phone that I've seen so far. It turned out great. They look really slick. The animations and the overall design of the island, and the way you're able to kind of get several ones at the same time, and how smooth it is, as you can see. I'm impressed, to be honest. You do get floating windows if you have YouTube Premium, or you know, the other alternatives to it. But yeah, you have it. It works very smoothly still. There's no lag or anything to it. Now, as for performance, this phone is an absolute beast when it comes to stability. As you can see, over 70%. That's very impressive. The OnePlus 13, a very solid choice for power users, was only able to go slightly over 60%. I think it was 63 or 4%. But yeah, this phone gets 71% at it. Now, I have to admit that the best loop score is not the best for some reason. So my S25 Ultra was able to get 6500. So that's even less than the 8 Elite. However, both the phone and the processor are very new, so I would say there's a little wiggle room. It's only expected to get better and better through future updates, hopefully. But yeah, in terms of stability, it's really good. So that means this phone has very effective cooling systems and strategies in place, because as I'm sure you already know, stability matters a lot more than peak performance. As while off extreme stress test, this is just an example, but this test obviously takes place over a course of 20 minutes, give or take. So if your normal non-gaming phone can retain over 70% of its performance after 20 minutes of being under heavy load, I would say it's damn impressive. Talking about global apps, I forgot to mention that you now get support for badges for all of your apps, so you can go ahead and enable the badge notification. I can't do it for these because I haven't given them notification permission in the first place. But yeah, you can go ahead and enable notification badges for any app that you want, including Telegram, WhatsApp Business, and regular WhatsApp. And that's progress, I would say. As for the AI, unfortunately, it's still in Chinese. It even responds to you in Chinese to some certain commands. It does respond in English with a heavy Chinese accent, though, for some reason. Pretty racist of them. I don't know why they do that, but anyways, it's them. I can't judge them for doing an accent of their own. But yeah, it does respond in English to certain things, and then it does not to certain other things. However, it still can be used to set up reminders and alarms and things like that. It does respond in Chinese, but it does the job. So, for example, 小爱同学, wake me up in an hour.
好的，将在中午12点6分叫醒你。
Right, so it's 11:06. it set an alarm for 12:06. So it does work. There's a Chinese. Okay, you can stop listening to me. All right. Yeah. So there's an alarm set. There's a Chinese caption on it. But again, you want to be woken up, right? You just want to set an alarm. So it does that. And then 小爱同学. 小爱同学.
我在
Remind me to do something in an hour.
日历已定好，中午12点6分，我会提醒你 do something。
Okay. I'm sure you heard that. It wasn't me. They did it. But anyways, okay, stop listening to me. All right, so it did it. Again, it's responding in Chinese, but it did recognize the time and the label. So it did set a reminder for today in an hour that says do something. So I would say that, again, does the job. And obviously, if you don't speak any Chinese, you don't have to rely on the voice wake method. You can always use your power button or the navigation bar if you have it activated. I don't, but yeah, you can hold it or even you can double tap it, however you want to do it. And then as for doing this weird test that everybody does, I'm still going to do it, even though there's no point anymore really, because of how far phones have progressed in general. So this is a top of the line flagship. This is Snapdragon's latest. Of course, it'll be able to do that. But anyways, I just wanted to demonstrate basically the animations, because everything on Xiaomi's newest HyperOS, honestly, it's all buttery. It's very smooth. I'm very impressed with how things work now. Now, the camera performance is also very impressive. Apart from the ultra-wide sensor, I'm not really happy with the ultra-wide sensor, although I don't even use it that much, but just wanted to let you know. However, I'm not going to do a camera test in this video because there's plenty of that stuff going on. I just wanted to take a quick casual look at it, same as always. But yeah, do let me know what you guys think about it down below, and then tell me what phone you would like me to take a look at next. And obviously, it goes without saying that other upcoming Chinese flagships, including the OnePlus 15 and the Oppo Find X9, will all be on my list. All right, until the next one, peace out.